Ladies and gentlemen, here at the top left-hand corner of the map Whirlwind, we have our Red Zerg player from the team FX Open Esports. It's Lucky, IPL 3 runner-up. His opponent here in the top right-hand corner from the team Evil Geniuses, one and only Puma, our Blue Terran.
Whirlwind, a pretty big map.
Yeah. Yes.
A little bit.
Yeah.
It's not too over the top or anything.
16
but
bases.
Let's say that it would take more than 16 whirlwinds to cover this map.
It's
how big? What even is a whirlwind?
I
know it's a Pidgeot ability from Pokemon.
I always just associated with tornadoes. So
is it like a weakling tornado though?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like
I would imagine, like those ones when you were on the diamond as a kid playing baseball, and it would be really dusty and dry, and you'd see that little mini like tornado cyclone pop up. That's what I always thought a whirlwind was.
Like, are they like rectangles? In the respect that like they hold a concept. So like tornadoes are a type of whirlwind and hurricanes are a type of whirlwind, but then those little blustery circular cyclone things that spin around, you know, they're a whirlwind.
Yeah. We always called them dust devils as a kid though.
Dust devils.
Yeah. I don't know. In any case,
I see one made of snow one time.
Whirlwinds aside, snow one, that'd be kind of cool. Puma going to go for a command center first here. Lucky, of course, hatch first. No real surprise there. I mean, the question is going to be, does he get gas?
Yeah.
Does he bypass that and go for multiple queens? This is a map you can play a little bit greedy on.
It definitely is. 17-16 would not be too surprising at all.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see what he does here in just a bit. That's actually 16 gas, 15 pool afterwards. Looks like that's going to be the case. No, 16-16.
So a little bit extra gas is what Lucky's going to have. His gas is actually going to be such that, especially with building the drone after dropping the gas, it makes his pool that much later. He'll have more than 100 gas by the time he finishes that spawning pool. So just throwing that out there. He's gonna finish that gas up a little bit faster, so it opens up a lot of possibilities. He could be crazy. I don't expect like a 1-base or a 2-base Baneling bust or anything, but
no,
it'd be sweet. But Puma, on the other hand, guys,
not expected on this map.
Yeah, right. Kevin, we all know that's what makes things even more powerful.
Well, you know, Lucky certainly could do something like that. I would not anticipate it. Yeah. Let's see here, though, as Puma finishing up his first command center, 2 racks afterwards, is all, of course, scouted by this Overlord. May not have seen the second racks. Okay, yeah, he did.
How does that work? So he actually just finished his spawning pool. It's kind of funny because you, with the very popular build, okay, that works. It's a popular build, the 17-16, and this actually is, I'm like really interested. I would love to find out why exactly he would do that, because I'm actually, this is going to like trouble me all day. You know, I'm going to like be sitting at my desk after we finish this cast. Like everybody's going to go home. I'm not going to go home. I'm going to like start making flowcharts and try to figure out the possible benefits to why Lucky would do this. Guys, it's going to get scouted. Puma's going to start heading that SCV back to his home. Yeah,
so he pulled off a little bit early. Like we mentioned, if he had left all 3 workers in gas, he would have been at about 108 gas, 112 gas, or something like that whenever the spawning pool finished up. But what are we going to get out of Puma? Decides to go 2 gas afterwards. No add-ons, no factory, although it looks like we may see a factory here in just a second. He's about to get that 100 gas mark, and there it is.
All right, so got a bunker out of Puma, nothing too surprising there. Zerglings are going to be repelled after they do manage to not see much of, well, he saw 5 Marines. Let's point that out. So he does know, you know, there's units on the field. It's not a quantity that he can say that there's 2 barracks, because there are 2 barracks, but 5 is not enough to tell him that right now. And it looks like, how many queens is that? That'll take him to 3 or 4.
3 queens.
Okay. So it's just going to be spreading a little bit of creep with that 3rd queen, most likely. Of course, we love seeing that. But he's at 44, and this is like the magic number where some players, you know, you take a 3rd base at 44 supply. Sometimes you grab a little bit more old school. I know, studying my Lucira builds, 44 was where you grabbed your macro hatch, then you like made 1 more Overlord, then you went Baneling Nest Evo Chamber. But here's our 3rd for Lucky.
Oh yeah,
and a Roach Horn, actually. actually.
Yeah, this is almost looking like the Hyun build right now, honestly. Roach Horn at about 6.5 minutes as he tacks on another gas. So if he continues down the Hyun build path, we'll see double evolution chamber, and then he'll end up going up to a Baneling Nest and layer at about the same time, around 9.5 minutes, something like that. He could obviously have something completely different up his sleeve, but I believe actually it's been a couple of weeks, of course, since we've seen Lucky, but I believe we actually mentioned that he wanted to do that the last time we saw him, so I wouldn't be too surprised to see it.
Hellions coming off the field right now. Starport is nearing completion for Puma in a moment here. He will be able to move into a little bit of drop harass play if he does decide to go for that route. But no additional production facilities and no third base yet for Puma. Which is a little interesting. You know, he's sitting on 200. Double engineering bay wouldn't surprise me too much, but he's already sitting on the 250 gas, so it's actually like super inefficient to do it this late. Really wondering what he's going to do with all this money.
And indeed, we are seeing the Hyun build. I want to mention the round of 7 or 8 roaches. Looks like it's actually going to be 9 for now. Oh, never mind. Okay, so he's going a little bit more intense. He wants to put on a bit more pressure right now than Hyun usually does, although this is following a similar concept that, of course, necessitates because he produced an additional 4 or so roaches. He can't invest into both his upgrades at the same time, can't get that melee attacks going as well, but he'll be able to fall into that here in just a bit.
That he will. Third base is going down for Puma. That's about all. He's still pulling quite a bit of gas. We will likely be seeing, and there's the double engineering bay for him, while Lucky's going to be moving out. So, of course, Puma did make, you know, a good quantity of units before these units started pushing across the map.
Yes.
But this isn't too bad of a timing. You know, Puma's got a lot of money that he's saved up right now to invest into these upgrades in this third.
Now, it would be really nice if he was able to hit just seconds before that stim finished up. Then he'd be able to do a little bit more significant damage. But, unfortunately, he can't. He backs away, and stim is actually going to finish here in just 15 seconds.
Yeah, and it looks like Puma's going to turn around. Both of the players kind of saw each other's units and went, looks like we were, let's just, all right, ceasefire. And that's actually pretty good for Puma because he's got a lot of stuff underway right now. But, you know, in the same respect, I mean, Lucky's got +1/+1, and he's going to be able to move out of roaches now.
Puma saw pretty much everything. He doesn't get a read on the layer timing, but he does see all of the double engineer or evolution chambers up at the front. Sees the roach horn, sees pretty much everything he has to. Now, at this stage of the game, Lucky did decide to forego that Baneling Nest initially. That's part of the, you know, having the extra gas built up too. Actually decides to make an additional 5 roaches. A little surprised that he didn't just drop down the Baneling Nest at that point, as against the kind of army that that Puma's creating, to be a little bit more effective defense.
Yeah, definitely is something he should be considering at least. But, I mean, either way, he's going to be poised here in a moment to go for some really nice drop play. He hasn't moved into tanks. He's just going for a lot of, well, now his tank does start, as well as siege tech. But it's going to be a little bit of time until that's all in the field. And he's got a lot of medevacs. He's got Marines, Marauders, Hellions. He's going to have 1-1 here in a moment. Nice splitting from Lucky, at least decent. We'll see if he can bait that shot. And I think he lost about 7 or
6 workers.
Okay.
Yeah, 6. So not too bad. Gets away with 1 Hellion. So it was about 2 drones for every Hellion he sent out. That's an acceptable trade. You know, he saw a lot of roaches, though. And again, a kind of a surprising amount, at least to me, too. So he decides to super bunker up. He may be thinking that there's some sort of a big 3-base roach baneling push, but that's not the case, actually. Now, these aren't too big of an investment. He'll be able to recover the bunkers for 75 minerals apiece. So it's not the worst deal for him. And if it buys him peace of mind, that's fine. Because obviously he's playing towards a longer game.
You know, it has distracted him, however. He's supply blocked right now, sitting on a fair amount of money. He could definitely be making units such as tanks right now.
5 supply depots going up all at once.
Yeah, it seemed like, you know, Puma was really in his mind right there, thinking, you know, exactly what Lucky's going for, and it definitely distracted him from his mechanical play. You know, in the meantime, though, this Viking is going around and doing some damage to Lucky. You know, he's just produced extra overlords, though. Here comes that drop play we were seeing, but it's going to be in the form of, well, just a cleaning of creep tumors. Janitor service, getting some job done.
Still pretty good. The creep spread has not been all that great from Lucky this game. So, you know, that little bit that was done there actually does significantly hamper his opponent. Now, Lucky is going for pure Roach Ling at this stage of the game, and I am a little bit shocked by that. With a relatively high count of Marauders that have been added in, with the Siege Tanks that are already present, it's going to be an eternity before this Infestation pick gets done, researches Pathogen Glands, and we see the Infestors after that.
Hey, this is not too bad, though, because, you know, there's not a lot of tanks on the field for Puma. Does he have 2 yet? He does. So that, I mean, 2 tanks is, it's twice as good as 1 tank. And Puma may be able to hold this. It's going to be close, though.
Okay, well, Lucky's running everything up to the front. Unfortunately, the tanks were actually shooting the first couple of roaches rather than in the middle of the pack, so they didn't deal out a ton of splash damage. They did some damage to everything up at the front, but as a consequence, Puma just lost 3 of his 4 bunkers.
Yeah, and isn't going to be able to salvage those, but we did see Lucky dip about 60 supply of unit there. He's now going to be reinforcing it with drones behind this, so note that he is making a little bit of a transition, waiting for 2-2 to complete. I think at that point, we may see him start to move out of roaches and into Ling Infestor.
And this orbital command does pick up before being lit on fire. At the same time, Puma's doing a pretty effective job dropping here. He's killed a few workers, did pick off an Overlord too, even gets the extractor, which is a really nice touch, starting to try and target down this hatchery too. Don't think he's going to get that in time, but he'll pick back up, and he's only lost 2 Marines out of this entire drop.
Yeah, and the lost mining time, definitely a deficit here to Lucky. Look at the effect it's had on his psyche. I mean, he just a second ago, guys, he made 28 links, but he was pulling 1,500 minerals and quite a bit of gas as well.
So look at this, Puma being really annoying with these drops. All he has to do is pick back up, get out of there, pick back up, get out of there, and he can do this over and over again and continue to harass his opponent, keep him pinned in. All the while, he gets a huge attack ready through the front.
This is pretty scary, but the Infestors are now spawning, and with those Infestors, Lucky will be able to hold this off as long as he engages correctly.
And he's forced to throw a fungal down up at the front. It does a little bit of damage, but he certainly would have liked those to hit the bulk of the units that are running around the back now. A few more Infestors did just pop. In fact, he has 4 additional fungal growths in addition to the one we just saw.
And Infestor gets caught. Doesn't even get to drop its fungal growth. And here comes the push from Lucky. Infestor's leading the charge so that they can get those fungals down. Nice fungals on the front of the army here. Ultimately, Lucky is looking like he's going to clean it up. Yeah, he'll be able to clean this up, I think. It's still really, really close, though.
Yeah, it's not terribly cost-effective for him, though, and that's the issue. He lost a lot of energy with his fungal growth, and no, he can't actually. The medevacs have enough sustain that they're actually able to kill the last couple of units, so Puma has this game well in hand. Now, just think about just a few banelings here and there would have forced out so many fewer Marauders as anything other than straight Roach Ling up until he got these Infestors. Seems like it would have been a little bit smarter choice. Puma actually standing in here and engaging this. Surprised he hasn't picked up all his forces, but I guess he just wants to keep them pinned in so his reinforcements make their way up.
Yeah, these are 2-2 Zerglings, so pretty effective, but Lucky is getting kited right now so hard. It almost makes, I mean, at this point, okay, so he's finally going to clean this up, but 2-2 is just finishing now for Puma, and that's going to make it that these Bioforces can engage heads up against these Lings.
Now, of course, while all of this is happening, Puma, he's getting more workers, he's getting a 4th base, and Lucky has been able to do nothing but just make Lings and Infestors.
That was a big fungal, though. A lot of damage in there. But his units do get caught, actually, coming from the other base down below. We can see that there's Marines and tanks here, and the Infestors that just spawned and tried to make it from the 3rd and picked off there. It looks like he's just, Lucky's so pinned against the ropes right now. Continuing to lose supply.
Yeah, I mean, Puma also known for his aggression, and once he starts killing you, he's not going to stop until you're dead, dead, dead. And that's pretty much what's going to happen here. Unfortunately, looks like Lucky not able to rally any forces in. I mean, he is literally not, I mean, he's not taking a ton of economic damage yet, but he has no way to stop this army, and it's only a matter of time before Puma pushes in and starts to devastate this drone line.
You know, he did have 7 Infestors spawn before all this happened, but I mean, he could not get a good engagement there.
No.
It was, kind of just came in all from one angle. It was just a big mess. GG, going down for Lucky, guys. There it is. Taking the lead.
Yeah, very aggressive game from Puma there, but I liked his style of play. He actually got most of the work done with those drops. Lucky had that huge Roachling attack that came in and pressured into the natural.
Yep.
Killed 3 bunkers. He lost a lot of supply doing it, yes, but it wouldn't have been the worst deal in the world had he been able to kind of regroup, think about it, expand to a 4th, continue teching, things like that.
Yeah.
But the problem was that he was taking economic damage back at home. He was losing structures, overlords, Lings, the drones, and he was just never able to recover off of that.
It was super important. I couldn't agree more because he had a huge economy behind it, whereas Puma was still pinned on 2 bases, you know. So it's perfectly okay to lose all those units, but you're so right, those drops. Sealing the deal there for Puma. Lucky getting knocked down. We'll see if Puma can continue his tirade, guys. We're going to cut to a quick commercial break. We'll be right back, and don't go anywhere.